Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Monday, we're back to the top of the workshop looking at the best performing map of the moment, and it's this one. It's a real-life take on a fantasy location based on a real-life location. Yes, a mix of muddles, based on a British TV show, which we'll talk very briefly about a little later on. Now, it's very important to note that
it's my first map.
That's right, and they've done a decent job of it, although the sort of map that we're looking at here will only really suit for a certain type of build. So if you're into that sort of build, you're going to be okay with this map. If you're not, then I would steer away. But before we do any steering away, I'd like to do some steering towards this. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Midsomer by Uncle Ron. The TV show, of course, is Midsomer Murders. It's a police type show. I'm going to say I've never watched it. I'm probably the only person in the UK that's never watched it. There's your start square. Looks really very nice from up here. A little bit of river in the side there. We've got a very flat landscape. Just a little bit of undulation in it, which you can tell went from ground level. Field painting, yes, you probably will want to stick to fertile and might want to do some resource painting yourself in-game. It's not really a fishing map, but you have Sunset Harbour. That's what your fishing will look like. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. There is a very nicely written description. I mean, it's proper nicely put together, the description. So all of the credit for that. It's as good as the map in itself. It is intended for left-hand drives, and I have, on this rare occasion, remembered to switch the traffic from right to left. Oh, there you go. So anyway, we have a one-click collection. And it's this little lot here, okay? The few bits I haven't actually checked off there, I have alternatives for, so everything is fine. Except for post-processor, which I don't use. I don't need to slow my system down any more than it struggles already with all the thousands of things I have going on at the same time, including recording. If I was doing advanced cinematics and the full cinematic stuff, then yes, of course I would have that. But on a flyover like this, I don't feel it really is going to add anything to your enjoyment. Right, so down to ground level. Now, when I say this isn't going to suit for everybody, this map, it's not really one for the big mega city. You could do a decent sized small town with a lot of little villages dotted around, and that's what it's intended for. Midsomer is a rural, again, I've only seen trailers and stuff like that on TV. Never watched the show, right? Never watched it. But I understand that it is rural England and lots of little villages, farms, all that sort of thing. And there's like a death a week. Because that's how it works. I've recently started watching Gotham. And the amount of police that Gotham lost in season 1, I mean, they'd have nobody left on the streets to go. It's a crazy thing. But that's fiction for you. It works because these people are instantly replaceable because it's a TV show. Yeah. If this was real life, forget it. And if this was real life, nobody would live in Midsomer. It's just, yeah, if a neighbourhood like this had one murder, it would be something that they talked about for the next 30 years. Do you remember Farmer Giles? Yeah, poor guy was bludgeoned to death. Well, that is just what... Anyway, it's by the by. The map is not going to suit for the big city build. You could try, and but I don't feel that it really lends itself to it. And it is, I mean, you might as well play the map towards the way that it was intended. And I say all those little villages and whatever, all the networking that's in place here is going to work really very nicely for that one. Intersections, all very British friendly. We have a little bit of little road stress, road texture stress there, just a little bit. There's not too much wrong with today's map, by the way. All of the we've got a little bit of tailback here with the crossroads. You're going to be expecting to see a little bit of that because of the way the networking has been done in a national. You have this one. I'm going to use the word motorway. Don't often get to say motorway, but this is a UK map, so I'm going to say motorway. So yes, we have the one motorway that is away from the centre of the map. All the key networking is away from the centre of the map, and into the centre of the map you have all of these national roads and country lanes. I'm doing air quotes there. All that sort of stuff. And then we have a little bit of mechanics over here, which I think a few of you are going to appreciate, maybe. And excuse me, clearing my throat there. And see how the motorway is going off towards the edge of the map here, and it's just going to disappear. It's going to disappear off the edge of, except for it isn't. It's going to cling to the edge of the map via this tunnel, tucked away, hidden away. Anything this close to the edge of the map is mechanics. So nobody really cares about detailing or whatever at this point. And you've got to have an edge of the map, unless you have the world, which unfortunately Colossal Order hasn't been able to provide for us just yet. Anyway, the tunnel emerges over here, and then it's going to go off to the edge of the map from this direction. So I don't mind the way that was hidden away. Lovely little roundabout intersection there, which we'll be coming back to a little bit later on, and then back to a different sort of road. And now we're going to follow in towards the start square via the sort of roads that you're going to find throughout the map. Little roundabouts. Oh, let me just show you. We have this asymmetrical roads here, so that the traffic can split before getting onto the roundabout. You go straight on, or you're turning right, you get into the right-hand lane. If you're turning left, you get into the left-hand lane. Yes, that's your gist. Yeah, that's your gist. And it's been very neatly done. Very neatly done. Good to see that sort of lane split going up to the 2-lane roundabouts, which is as you would find it over here in Blighty, as a lot of people like to call us sometimes. Mostly us, and mostly when we're feeling whimsical. So anyway, heading through the farms, there's a lot of hedges. Apparently there's about 1 million trees on this map, so you are going to need the unlimited tree mod, one version or another. But yes, about 1 million trees, and I think most of those have been used for the hedges. And I mean, briefly talk about the hedges a bit later on, but I find them very safe. I mean, we've used prop line tool for the hedges, and I see that a few trees have been popped in amongst the hedges to kind of break them up a little bit, but they still seem very samey and safe on the whole. There's nothing wrong with samey and safe, nothing wrong with it at all, but I'll say they just, over the entirety of the map, I would like to see a little bit of a variation in the styles of the hedges that we have. That said, it's my first map, and what the work we've got here is certainly strong enough to say I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I just can see room for say not improvement, but evolvement. Being able to evolve into a more rounded, more encompassing kind of map creator. But this is still a strong first effort. We have plenty of traffic coming this way, but nothing coming towards us. I hadn't noticed this when I was recording the flyover. I'm not quite sure why this is. But there are definitely a few minor hiccups with the networking. About to see the first one in a few moments with the next roundabout. Oh, here's the traffic. It's got to be start of map traffic flow. That'll be what that is. The traffic is just finding its way to this point from now. There you go. So I fixed the map. Don't worry about it, Uncle Ron. I have fixed the map for you by letting it run for about 5 seconds. Just roll your eyes. I know, roll your eyes at me. I can hear you. I can hear them hitting the back of your skull like that. Oh, bloody hell. Do your job, BonBon. I'm trying very hard. As my mother says. Anyway, heading down now into the heart of the map. the heart of the map slightly off center and all that, but we have that roundabout, which is over here. Now, the little problem with the roundabout is it's been done with a single lane. We have the asymmetrical roads going into it to split the traffic, then it all has to merge down into a single lane. So yes, could do a double lane road there. Plus, we do have a road that doesn't connect into it at all. I don't know if that is by design, but it looks like it certainly should be connected onto that roundabout. Now we'll take a little jaunt off to the left for what is the start square area. So that's where you're going to start building your first village or small town. Small towns is something that you could do. I imagine like a population of about 4,000 or 5,000, probably as big as you'd want to go. Right, so we've seen a lot of the roads. Let's have a quick look at some of the rail. This one again that one goes straight out towards the edge of the map. But if we skip over to the other side of the map, we'll follow another rail line which kind of skirts. You can see the edge of map on the left there. So we're not a million miles from the left. And I did say the major networking, the motorway and most of the rail is away from the center of the map, so you'll be concentrating on farmlands and on small villages, all those sort of things over there. Let's just follow this rail underground here before we lose track of it completely. It merges over here, and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So yes, so they've taken a real life fantasy map based on a real life location of it's the British heartland, isn't it? It's kind of upstream River Thames kind of feel to it. Again, oh hello, we have a stray tree, clearly a branch line. It's fine. It's fine. They will not be noticed. They won't affect anything apart from the detailing score very slightly, very slightly. It's going to be good. Okay. In terms of detailing, we have little things like this, little props just dotted here and there. Not too many of them so that it becomes a stupid hazard on your system, but there are a few dotted around to make the thing feel a little bit more like a live farming map, and I appreciate that little nod. Right, we're heading off towards the edge of the map now. We will come back for the shipping. Do you reckon there'll be shipping on today's map? Do you? Do you really? Not long to wait to find out. See ya after this message.
Have you never quite worked out how to use Ploppable Rico? And what the heck is Ploppable Rico anyway? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Ploppable Rico by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to the mighty shipping routes at Midsomer by Uncle Ron. And of course there aren't any. These rivers are just not set for it. You could add your own using the unlimited outside. No, that's not. I can't remember which mod it is. But you can add your own using a mod. But then you're going to want to use advanced vehicle options to bring in some small boats as well. Do have a couple of air routes though, and that fits very neatly with the fact that this map has a couple of pre-built airports. 2 airports on a map this size. Well, I mean, this is Midsomer, I guess. You're going to kill those pilots somewhere. And then we have water flow. There, now, the rivers are moderately decent sized. You're going to want to play about probably with a mod or two to allow for you not completely blitzing this river, killing it completely. So yes, I'm going to say not necessarily one for the main style of play where you pump and draw, but there is the option there, and we have some lakes you could work with as well. Okay, so let's have a little look around the map. We've got start with the forest, the woodlands. It's not too dense. It's not too dense. I'd like to have seen probably a little bit of more density in the forestry area, possibly, but we are using a million trees already. The hedges, I've covered them already. I'd like to have seen just a bit of variation. They are very safe. They're very safe. And where they're not so safe, it's 1 or 2 trees dotted on there to... It is what it is, this map. It is what it is. It's a strong nod to the style of location without being a heavily detailed representation, so there is that. I did say there were a couple of airports. This one is the more major one. We've got 3 runways on that one. And I think that looks really very nice indeed. I completely buy into that shape of airport. And we've got another one down here, which has got the 2 crossing runways, which always makes me worry a little bit, but I'm sure air traffic control has got that covered. At least I hope they have. Right, let's have a little look down at these rivers. The rivers are very neatly detailed, and of course with the theme and luck we've got in place, it's a really crisp, warm summer's day in Midsomer. Yeah, the river detailing is absolutely fine. Really very nice indeed. Very pleasing. Very, very pleasing. And the shapes of the rivers are very nice too. Now, let's have a look at some of these set plays. Like we have the tractor and the farming area there. This is right by that roundabout that doesn't quite connect in with the single lane. Now, we also have some gun emplacements. So that I found the murder weapon. There's at least a couple of those. They don't make any sense to me in real life, but hey. We've got a couple of castles. Ooh, it's a castle. We've got one little one there. I mean, these might be more stately homes than castles. This one here, I'm not so keen on this one. I mean, maybe you get in through that door there, but then we've got the walls cutting through the towers as well. Not preferred style for me. I did say we'd come back to this intersection roundabout under elevated road intersection here. And there's a reason, actually, because this is the one biggest problem with the map. Okay, right, it's not really a problem because it's easily fixed. But you may notice we have a roundabout running both ways. We've got a section of roundabout there that runs back on itself from this road here over to over there. There you go. So just that section there. Probably 2 segments that need to be inverted. Doesn't even cost you to do that. So it's not a huge issue, but it is technically a fault. Now, if we head back down this way, we have some, I did say we had some lakes. These are like fishery lakes. So yeah, feel free to use these for pumping and drawing for your city once you actually buy into this area. And that would be a pretty strong thing to do. Into the start square, and we have a very rural asset of the day. You see these all over the southern counties. It's the 255 George Street NAB building by Robert. Yes, this is part of their Sydney set where they are basically recreating the entirety of that very famous Australian locale. little bit as like a small suburb of a small little outback village. I think Sydney, isn't it? I think probably. Factoids? Why not while we're here? Do you know what? This name is for me synonymous with this kind of countryside. Baden-Powell's Scout Movement had a membership of over 150,000 by the end of its first 5 years. That's pretty impressive. I mean, considering I've got all of the internet to work with and I'm only at, about 14,000 at the moment after nearly 6 years. 150,000 is a pretty strong effort. Lord Baden-Powell, not necessarily the most popular of British characters these days, but there we are. 255 George Street NAB building by Robert. Today's asset of the day. Yeah, let's not talk too much about Baden-Powell because I think it's one of those names that you look back on in history and you go, yeah, maybe not necessarily the glowing name that we should all be celebrating, but the Scout movement definitely is. Right, okay, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a free Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I like this. I like it. It doesn't blow me away. But it certainly has all the vibes and the feeling that I would want from the map. There's lots of room for improvement in latter variations and the next map and that kind of thing. But I think we can go 4 stars. We can go medium, low 4 stars. Detailing is fine. There's lots of little nods to areas. I don't think we're not really trying to blast the shark in the side of their face with a mallet here, but it's still pretty solid. So I'm going to go for a low 4 again. Gameplay. if you're looking to do like that village network kind of thing, yeah, perfect for that. But for anybody else, I don't know so much. I'm going to go down the middle with a middle 3 because it's perfectly playable and there's now wrong with it. Midsomer by Uncle Ron. A very pleasing map for me. It feels like home. Although I'm not really in the home counties, but it does feel like home. And I think there's you grab a lot of McWelshman's and a Rick 4000's assets and stuff like that, and you're going to have a really fun village build there. Anyway, you're still here. You're part of the 20 Now Elites. Thanks for still being here. Use the word of the day into the comments. Score yourself some population points. I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, I think. Yeah, as it's another day. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.